Whose voice are you actually listening to? The loud chaos of social media, the pressure of public opinion, or the quiet, unchanging voice that shaped nations and preserved generations? Today, we are tuning out the noise to listen to the oldest guide in history: wisdom. In Proverbs chapter 8, wisdom is personified as a woman standing in public places, calling out to anyone who is willing to listen. She does not hide herself. She does not whisper in secret corners. She stands at the crossroads, at the city gates, and in the places where decisions are made, and she calls. The beautiful truth of Proverbs 8 is that wisdom is available to everyone, not just scholars, not just leaders, not just people who seem to have everything figured out. Wisdom calls to ordinary people. She calls to the young and the old. She calls to the experienced and the inexperienced. She calls to those who feel uncertain. She calls to those who are searching for direction. And perhaps today, she is calling to you. One of the greatest misconceptions we often have is believing that wisdom belongs to a select few. We sometimes assume that wisdom comes only with age, education, status, or success. But Proverbs 8 teaches something different. Wisdom begins with humility. It begins when a person admits that they do not know everything. It begins when a heart becomes teachable. It begins when we stop relying entirely on our own understanding and become willing to learn from God. Many people spend years searching for answers while ignoring the very voice that is offering guidance. Wisdom is available. The question is not whether wisdom is speaking. The question is whether we are listening. In a world that encourages instant reactions, wisdom teaches thoughtful responses. In a culture that rewards speed, wisdom teaches patience. In a society that often values appearance over character, wisdom calls us back to truth. And that is why wisdom remains so important today. Proverbs 8 also teaches us that wisdom is more valuable than money. That may sound surprising because we live in a world where financial success is often treated as the ultimate goal. People spend years building wealth, pursuing promotions, and chasing material achievements. Yet wisdom reminds us that wealth without understanding can easily be lost. Money can come and go. Markets can rise and fall. Opportunities can appear and disappear. But wisdom remains. Wisdom teaches us how to manage what we have. Wisdom protects us from unnecessary mistakes. Wisdom helps us see beyond temporary desires and focus on what truly matters. A person with wisdom can recover from setbacks. A person with wisdom can navigate difficult seasons. A person with wisdom can build something that lasts. This does not mean money is unimportant. Rather, it means that wisdom should always come first. Because wisdom is what teaches us how to handle every blessing God places in our hands. When wisdom guides our decisions, we begin to build our lives on a stronger foundation. Another powerful truth found in Proverbs 8 is that wisdom leads to right living. Wisdom is not merely information. It is not simply knowing facts. True wisdom influences behavior. It shapes decisions. It affects relationships. It changes how we speak. It changes how we respond to conflict. It changes how we handle disappointment. Wisdom helps us choose integrity when shortcuts seem easier. Wisdom helps us remain patient when frustration wants to take control. Wisdom teaches us to pause before speaking words we may later regret. Every day we are faced with countless decisions. Some appear small, others are life-changing. But every decision carries consequences. Wisdom helps us see beyond the immediate moment. It helps us understand that today's choices often shape tomorrow's outcomes. Many painful situations begin with decisions that seemed insignificant at the time. Likewise, many blessings begin with simple acts of wisdom repeated consistently over time. A wise life is not built through one dramatic decision. It is built through daily choices, daily obedience, daily discernment, daily dependence on God. And over time, those small decisions create a life marked by stability, peace, and purpose. Perhaps one of the most remarkable truths in Proverbs 8 is the origin of wisdom itself. Wisdom comes from God. The chapter describes wisdom as being present before the foundations of the earth were established, before mountains were formed, before oceans were created, before humanity existed. Wisdom was already there. This reminds us that wisdom is not a human invention. It is woven into the very fabric of creation. God designed the world to function according to principles of wisdom. When we walk in wisdom, we align ourselves with God's design. When we reject wisdom, we often create unnecessary struggles for ourselves. In the New Testament, many believers see a beautiful connection between wisdom and Jesus Christ. The wisdom of God is ultimately revealed through Christ. This means that growing closer to Jesus is also growing in wisdom. The more we know Him, the more clearly we begin to see life. The more we follow Him, the more discernment we gain. The more we trust Him, the more confidently we can navigate uncertainty. Wisdom is not merely something we learn, it is someone we walk with, and that relationship changes everything. Finally, Proverbs 8 teaches that wisdom gives life, not merely existence, life, abundant life, purposeful life, protected life. Wisdom shields us from many unnecessary wounds. It helps us avoid destructive paths. It guards our hearts. It preserves our peace. It leads us toward God's favor. The chapter says that those who find wisdom find life. What a powerful promise. Imagine how different our lives would look if we intentionally sought wisdom before making decisions, before entering relationships, before making financial commitments, before responding in anger, before pursuing opportunities. How many difficulties could be avoided? How much peace could be preserved? How much growth could be accelerated? Wisdom does not guarantee a life without challenges, but it does provide guidance through them. Wisdom becomes a lamp in dark seasons, a compass during uncertainty, a steady voice when confusion surrounds us. And the wonderful news is that wisdom is still calling today. God has not stopped speaking. He still guides. He still teaches. He still provides understanding to those who seek Him. So perhaps today is an invitation to slow down, an invitation to listen, an invitation to value wisdom more than immediate gratification, an invitation to pursue understanding more than approval, an invitation to trust God's voice above every competing voice, because wisdom is calling, and those who respond discover something priceless. They discover direction, they discover peace, they discover purpose, and ultimately, they discover life. Let us choose wisdom, let us seek wisdom, let us walk in wisdom, and let us trust that the God who created wisdom will faithfully guide every step we take.